So we got some shocking news out of the F1 world, that being that Christian Horner has been officially sacked by Red Bull. He's been asked to step down from both his role as CEO and team principal, and I think that this is absolutely insane. I didn't see this coming from a mile away. There were, of course, some rumors around Horner that maybe he was on a hot seat, that the ownership wasn't too happy with the performance, but a lot of that was waved away just a few weeks ago when ownership was asked, and they seemed very supportive of Horner. It didn't sound like he was on a hot seat, didn't sound like he was under pressure, but clearly he was. He has left behind a team in turmoil. I think that's fair to say. Of course, with everything going on with Max Verstappen and, the Red Bull ownership opening up Toto Wolff and Mercedes to start talking to Max, and, the issues with the car, I think it was still very, very surprising for one of the longest tenured team principal to be fired in the way that he was and in the manner that he was. Of course, I think the reasons for why he was fired, like I stated earlier, the performance has just taken such a big dip. 2 years ago, or a season ago, they were riding high. They had one of the most dominant cars ever made. And then even last year, while last year was rough, Red Bull was still fairly competitive. Max Verstappen was able to get the most out of that car, being able to secure a driver's championship. So I think the Red Bull ownership for this season was looking at that being their floor, right? Was driver's championship, or at least second in the constructors being in their floor. But this year has been short of an unmitigated disaster for Red Bull. The pit stop times have obviously gotten slower. The car has been notoriously hard to drive. And of course, even while Max has been working his magic, things have still been fairly rough for the team. I think it's quite easy to see why he was fired, but I think I was surprised that the Red Bull ownership didn't give him more time to try to turn the team around, considering that, they just lost Adrian Newey, they just lost Jonathan Wheatley. Like, of course, it was going to take quite a long time for Christian to be able to turn this team around and to get them back to where they were, losing two massive figures like those two were. But, so I think that this is maybe somewhat premature. The only thing that comes to mind outside of just the performance lacking where Red Bull ownership thought it was going to be much better is maybe some internal pressure, most notably from Jos Verstappen, which is Max Verstappen's father, who's been very open about his distaste for Christian Horner, and also the Austrian ownership, which has also which also came out against Horner, I want to say last year, when he said some out-of-pocket things against Helmut Marko, and of course there were some frustrations flaring up there between Horner and Marko, who have been the two leaders at that team for such a long time. But I still never saw it getting this far, and even if it did, I thought Horner was one of the few people on that team that had a very secured position, just considering what he's done for the team and just considering all he's achieved there. I think about him in the same vein as Toto Wolff, in the fact that, Mercedes would be very hard-pressed to get rid of Toto Wolff, and, I thought those two guys had, lifelong seats, so to speak, as team principals in Formula One, considering their track records, but apparently that is not the case, and here we are. So Laurent Mekies will be taking over as presiding team principal and CEO of Red Bull Racing. And just wow. Now, I do believe that Horner will have a job, considering that there's already some rumors that, Ferrari was interested in Horner, offered him a job to come be Ferrari's team principal. There's also some rumors around Alpine being potentially interested in Horner's services, because we know how much of a dumpster fire that team has been as of late. So I think this is a move. This is a firing that is going to have massive implications and could be the first domino to fall for one of the most entertaining and craziest F1 silly seasons that we would have seen in quite some time. But you best believe I'll be here to break it down for you. Thank you for letting me rant. I'll see you all in the next one.